It's rough being a dog. Or smog. So, this is actually kind of a big deal for me. It is Sunday Morning Coffee number 52. If you got your math hat on this morning, that is technically a full year of Sunday Morning Coffees that I've shared with you good folks out there. There is about 50 of y'all that seem to catch us every week. Some weeks lighter, some weeks heavier. I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. This has nothing to do really with, Smith Welding Restoration, Jeremy and I as partners, or I cap on what's going on in the shop, but it's kind of my own tangent. So we'll start off proper. Shop recap. Let me see here. That 2500 got out of here. I've got the video footage. I've got most of it edited down. You'll notice I didn't get any good after pictures. I kind of ran out the door and was chasing the truck down as Don, the owner, was leaving. I'm like, oh shit! And I grabbed the camera and ran with it. What I don't show you is the shitty little car lot stuff we do. An old boy we call Pops had his this will go on next, I guess. So anyhow, Pops, we were fixing a bumper cover on this Mercedes wagon. Well, he pulled out of the shop. We had him pull it in so it would warm up. Pulled out of the shop. I pulled Don's pickup out of the shop. He pulled back in. I shot some footage of him driving away with the pickup. I go on, I hit the door, I go down, and Pops. I don't like people pulling shit in and out of my shop. Very rarely do I allow someone to, for this very reason. He pulls in right where he was parked prior, and then he decides to back up, and he's under the door as it's coming down. I've got footage, at least of my reaction, and the camera flopping around, and everybody hollering. We didn't hurt the car. Stupid, just dumb shit. Let me see here. The Mountain Goat, Wallace Sullivan, buddy. You're asking me about virtues of TIG welding versus MIG welding body panels. I don't have a TIG welder. I can TIG weld. I can TIG weld to at least an average level of competency, okay? Professional competency. I don't have a TIG welder yet. I do intend on picking one up, and there's just something different about a TIG welder. It's very similar to brazing or gas welding. The one thing about TIG welding that is outstanding is you can get very small, tight welds. You can heat up the steel very locally in very small proportions versus a MIG welder. You're just kind of blasting that panel with heat, really. TIG has more control to it. So I think if I had my druthers, I would actually TIG weld panels on. When I get a TIG welder, I'll go ahead and give that a whirl and see how it works. But without that in practice, I've TIG welded. I've never TIG welded on automotive. Does that make sense? I do fucking hate doing aluminum. I'm barely competent with that. Aluminum's interesting because you have to have an AC square arc. You don't have to, but you got to be a hell of a lot better than I am to get away with not using a square arc, just using a AC. And the reason AC is involved, for all you folks out there kind of looking at TIG welding and wondering why it's so damn important. When you're TIG welding, you keep acetone around, you clean everything up. You think you got to clean shit up to MIG weld. The not flux core, not FCAW, FCAW, but MIG weld. actual gas inert gas metal welding, or a GMAW is what they refer to it as. I do believe. If you thought you had to clean it up good for gas MIG welding, TIG's a whole other situation. And aluminum's always got some shit in it, you know. In the AC, what that does is it's alternating current, so it's pushing current in and pulling current back. It's going both ways across the surface of that panel as you're welding. And you actually dial in the percentage of wave, how much of it pushes, how much of it pulls, basically. And the pull pulls the impurities up out of the aluminum and cleans it. The push welds it. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I had very good instructors when I was learning industrial welding. I actually have, let me see, stick 3, 4, and 5 left to complete, and blueprint reading. And I've got my out to test for certification. That's that. Things are moving around in the shop. The Grand Marquis my nephew actually bought, it appears it's got a limited slip differential. It's not a posi. You get the ass up, you roll one wheel forward, the other one goes backward. So it's not a posi. It's a limited slip, which is cool. He and his buddy Tommy are going to have a blast with it. That gives us the luxury of getting all the engine parts for the G20. I called our friendly neighborhood machine shop, Harvey's, and he's going to round up the crank they polished, the block they put cam bearings, freeze plugs, honed, cleaned, crack checked. They got it cleaned up for me, ready to go. He's going to measure everything out and see what I need, because I need rings and bearings for it. I've got a gasket kit. I've got a almost brand new cam, and it is, let me see here, it's the top end cam before you have to go to headers. So it's like I want to say a 270 or 280 duration. It is a 0.37, 0.44 lift, something like that. I mean, it's beefy. Mind you, if you know your small block Chevy, your standard cam lift is 0.24, which is almost a quarter inch, 0.27, something like that. I haven't spec'd them out in a while. Yes, I've built engines. Never a race car engine, never anything flashy, but I've rebuilt engines. Kind of weird for a body guy, but I wanted to know how shit worked before I made it pretty. And then looking at the cars on making them pretty was all encompassing to me. It grabbed me. So things are moving. That'll pull 2 cars of the 4 out from in front of the shop. The Monte Carlo is ready to come off the jack stands. That'll put it in the slick sand, and we'll move forward with heavier work. Well, not heavier work, we got all the heavy work done, but we'll move forward with heavier body work after that. Speaking of that, this shop, we're coming up to, I can tell you exactly when this shop became an idea. Okay. I'm actually up on my Facebook page is where I started, you know. And we're talking November 12th, 2011. So it would have been August of 2011 when all this started. August of 2013. So when we filed LLC paperwork and I brought Jeremy in as a partner. I've done nothing but bust my ass. I've gotten into some poor, lazy habits that we have since broken. We've updated our operating procedures for the shop because products we're using, materials we're using, and practices that were piss poor, that weren't getting us where we needed to be. You know what I mean? Anyhow, all facts remain the same. I've busted my ass now for over 3 years. 3.5 years, technically speaking, just on this endeavor, okay? Specifically focused. And oft times I feel that I'm further behind than when I started this. And going into kind of the people of the world in general. I got a very small group of people that are invited into my personal world. Many of you guys out there, many of my YouTube Garage Gang brothers are invited in that little imperfect world of mine. And get to see some of the struggles day to day. This is what kills me. I bust my ass and I give my level best every day. Some days are better than others, and my level best has improved hand over fist over the last 3 years. But I still struggle to come up short. People of the world, and I have a rant actually recorded off, and I was tired and I was pissy and I was angry, but here's the fucking gist of it. I see these cocksuckers out there just skating by, gold bricking, taking advantage of other fucking people, leaning on people. I'm fucking sick of seeing this shit, and it'll never end. So I can be sick of it all I want, but it's not going to change anything. And they just skate by life, and they, got new cars and nice things, and it. There's a few people I'm barely close to. They're like this, and I observe. Try to distance myself from those situations because they're poisonous. They're good. And then you got the almighty fucking car flipper customer. This goes right along with that same category. That's why I said I'd bring it up later. Motherfuckers come in. Oh man, my old lady's gonna drive this car. Give me a good deal. Give me a good. I need a good deal. I need some loving on this. I need a good deal. 45 days later, they're selling the fucking car with some excuse, Oh, it's too big a car. It's we found this and whatever. Who gives a shit? The fact remains like this: if it's your old lady's car, you don't need a good deal. You need good work. Do the work accordingly, of course. And then conversely, I've got another customer that said, this is my wife's car. This is my lovely wife's truck. You will do your best work. I need to know what it's going to cost for you to give me your best work. Those are the motherfuckers you talk to. Those are the motherfuckers you listen to. Don hung out with us from like 8:45 till 11:30. We're supposed to be done at 9 on Friday with that truck. He hung out with us till 11:30. He hijacked Jeremy's van right up, got donuts, and got himself some coffee. See, Don and I, even though Don's far older than I am, of course, Don and I have a shared history without ever having met. He knew my first boss when I started in construction back in '96. Framing houses. We worked for a lot of the same builders. So we had a good time. We had a good old time. As a matter of fact, the next day, because I worked till past midnight, I was up there 8:30, I think, working again. And I was just punch drunk and stupid at that point. I was exhausted and then beyond. I don't pull all-nighters like I used to. I'm not 20 anymore. But the following day I actually called him up and thanked him for coming down and appreciated his company and whatnot. People like that I want around me. That gentleman could help us greatly. He offered to help us get work. He said, but you never called. I said, Don, we weren't in a position to authoritatively say, yes, we can give you the work you want at the price you need, at the quality you need, and the timeliness you need. We had some internal issues at the shop to take care of first, to be able to move up to that level of workmanship, and we had shit to figure out. And he respected that. I said, I'm not going to have you put your name on something and come back to turn the shit to your hand, turn the shit in your hands. So you get them both ways. But I remember this, and I have to point this out to my nephew occasionally, because he's 19 and just now seeing how the world works. You're going to have the lazy cocksuckers gold bricking, okay? And it's simple like this. Any life path you choose, you can choose what is the easy path or the hard path. Most people see what the hard path will be in their adulthood and later life as the easy route to go. Because the hard path is always easy to start. It takes very little discipline, it takes very little skill, it takes very little effort to shimmy down the easy path. While that easy path turns to shit in your hands because there's no room for advancement where you've stuck yourself. You've got no skill sets and you're 40 years old. The hard path at the onset is setting up yourself with skills and equipment and tools and knowledge and people, and it will make your life easier later in your life. I am 36. I started over at 33. I was falling my way to rock bottom at 32. And I found it. I found as low as a guy gets without ending up on the wrong side of the ground. I would rather have it hard right now and be able to coast through my 50s and 60s. Genetically speaking, the men in my family don't make it past 65. Usually. I'm half fucking way there, folks. So, I want that part of my life easy. Alright, so that said, world events. Have you guys looked outside lately? American cops are going nuts and stupid. Russia's going to invade the Ukraine, which, by the way, look on a map. Russia had Ukraine at one point. I go in history lessons there. There were millions of Ukraine peoples that were slaughtered during World War II by Stalin. He was the silent sociopath. Nobody really paid much attention to him because Hitler was making all the headlines. Ukraine's up in arms and Russia's talking about invading. I don't think we'll go to war with Russia, because if we go to war with Russia, China will get involved and Britain will get in it. World War III type of circumstance that could really take off. Everybody wants to bitch about the president or praise the president. He's a piece of shit puppet with a fist up his ass. That's all he is. It's the faceless people behind him that you got to worry about. I'm getting calls at 9:30 on a Sunday. Not cool. Alright, folks, so this is a year of Sunday morning coffee. I'm signing off here. I've been at it for 20 fucking minutes. You have a great day. Go out there and see that your week beats my year.